Peace, family. Welcome to another episode of Broken Theory. Today we have Sally Hahn. What's going on?
Everything is great. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Doing good. I just wanted to know, how did this music journey start with you?
So for me, I'm 24 years old right now, but I started music very long time ago at 5 years old
Wow.
by playing classical piano.
Okay.
And I lived in a pretty artistic home because my grandparents were hair designers in
Okay.
the hair industry. So they're always inclined musically and artistically. I think that influenced me a lot when I was a baby. They
For
always
sure.
had a piano laying around and I got to like play around all the time. And then also growing up in a Korean church in New Zealand, I got to be surrounded by different kinds of musicians and the church band. So I think I naturally ended up playing a lot of instruments from a young age growing
Mm.
up. And then that really inspired me to bring it as a career now. So I'm an independent artist based in Paris, and I want to build a career as an artist myself here.
For sure. So,
Yeah,
at what age would you say that you first picked up a music instrument?
5 years old, 4 or 5,
Wow.
as piano. Yeah, so very young, but classical style,
Okay.
which is different because now I do mainly R&B, pop, more contemporary.
For
But
sure.
definitely that helped with the foundation of everything.
Hmm. So,
Yeah.
at what point did you start making your own songs? Like, what was that journey like for you?
Yeah, it took me a very long time actually to get to that point
Mm.
because I consider myself a instrumentalist or a musician playing an instrument.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, I wanted to be a bass player and study jazz in university.
Wow.
So even up until I was 18 years old,
Mm-hmm.
I was set on becoming a session musician as a bassist.
Wow.
So as soon as I got into university as a jazz bass player, that's when my dream suddenly changed and I wanted to become an artist myself. So probably around 18, that's when I started taking everything seriously with
Mm-hmm.
writing, production, and things like that.
Do you produce everything yourself nowadays?
So I sometimes co-produce some songs I produce myself, but now I'm working with a lot of different producers from Europe and LA and things like that.
Mm-hmm. What was the
Yeah.
process like on the song One Last Time? That song is fire.
Oh, thank you. So that was my second ever single.
Hmm.
And actually in Korea, when I was, I think 20 or 21, I put myself into a production school, like an institute. And the mentor, the class who taught, the teacher who taught production there, I became really good friends with him, and we started hanging out and listening to music all the time. And
Hmm.
he taught me a lot, but we decided to make a song together in Korea. So, yeah, he was crazy. He produced that track, and I played bass on that one.
That's
And
fire.
it was a special connection. And then I think it turned into something really beautiful.
That's dope. How do you
Yeah.
feel like when you were first starting to make music and write your own songs that you
Mm.
found your own sound that you were going for?
Ooh. So finding my own sound, I feel like that was a really long, tough journey.
Hmm.
I feel like I'm just starting to get into my real own identity as an
For
artist
sure.
because at first I was really playing around with different sounds. I had a lot of different inspirations, but I was not exactly sure which direction I wanted to take my artist project.
Hmm.
But I think it took more self-discovery and just hanging out with myself more than like just focusing on music to
Hmm.
find the musical identity.
For sure.
Yeah, it gets more psychological, I think.
No, I feel it. I feel it.
Yeah.
What's your process like when you're deciding if a piece of music should like see the light of day or come out like on a project,
Mhm.
whether it be a single or an album?
Definitely, I think when I listen to it, I have to enjoy it and fully feel the emotions.
Hmm.
Because I think if a piece of music can make me feel something and it touches me, or I can deeply connect to it, then it can connect to other people and make them feel similar great feelings.
For sure.
If it doesn't like invoke any emotion,
Hmm.
then I think I might work on it until it does.
Yeah, no, I feel it. And you can
Yeah.
tell like when you listen to your music, like every track is like a complete vibe. It gives you a feeling. And
Thank
it's
you.
like polarizing in a way because it like forces you to almost like pick a side. Like either you like it all the
Hmm.
way or it's not, it wasn't meant for you. You know what I mean? So it was like every track
Exactly.
was amazing and it was a different type of sound as well. So like definitely
Uh,
versatile.
Thank you.
No doubt. How important is faith to you?
Faith is very important to me. Again, I grew up in a Christian household,
Okay.
very, very Christian. So I really grew up in church from like a baby age. So I was always like surrounded by spirituality
Hmm.
and having faith in the future and God and myself.
For sure.
And even in my music career, like without having faith, I can't fully jump into my projects as an independent artist.
Hmm.
So that's, I think, key for life and music.
For sure. Definitely is a great tool to have. You know what I mean? Like for your whole journey, you're definitely gonna need it. for you,
Exactly.
for you, what's an average day like? Walk us through an average day with you.
Yeah. So currently I live in Paris. I
Mhm.
moved here about a year ago,
Wow.
and yeah, it's been a journey. There's a lot of artistic inspiration. It's very rich in art, history, culture, so I
Yeah.
try to take that all in and be
Yeah, for
outside.
sure.
So every day as soon as I wake up, I go outside to the street, walk around, get a coffee, a croissant.
That's fire.
Stare at the people, like take it all in.
Hmm.
So when I come back home, when it's time to write, I can write about my experience
Hmm.
and explain my day, even in the song. It's
Yeah,
like capturing moments outside so I can internalize it and then externalize it again.
that's fire. Now, it's a beautiful process of being able to do that and like also kind of like reach people with your message at the same time, like of something that you like
Exactly.
actually been through. It's music that's pretty much
Yeah,
timeless that you can grow with. You know what I mean? Um,
exactly.
no, I definitely love that.
Thank
What
you.
projects are coming up next for you?
So I have a lot of singles out right now, but I've been working on my EP for a very long time. It's been a crazy journey to like find the identity and find the right moment.
Mhm.
But I feel it's finally here. It's already, the music's great to go, and it's coming out in May.
That's fine.
It's been a
Any
lot of
exact
prep.
date?
May 22nd.
Okay, all right, for sure.
Yes,
Definitely have to
very
set the
excited.
calendars. Any books that you're reading or that you have read that changed your life
Oh
forever?
my. This one right now that I'm reading, it's called The
The Artist
Artist Way.
Way. That's
And it's
fire.
actually going viral because, Dochi
Hmm.
did like a 12-week video about it before
Okay.
she was famous.
Okay.
So that's why I decided to start this process of a creative healing journey.
Okay.
And I'm making YouTube videos about it too and uploading every week for it.
That's
It's been
fire.
really changing my life, like as an artist, like very liberating.
That's fire. Um,
Yeah.
Somebody else that spoke about that book. I actually have that book, but I haven't got
Oh,
around to it
really?
yet. Cole
Amazing.
years ago, and I think it was like an old interview with Angie Martinez. He spoke about that book. So I purchased
Um,
it, but I never like dove into it. So it's funny you saying it's
yeah.
going viral now. Is it Dochi?
Definitely.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, I'm gonna
amazing.
definitely check that out. Anything else that's helped you change your life or that could help an artist?
Being a lot in nature, I think, really
Yeah.
helps me.
Oh
I
no, I
think,
meant a book.
oh, a book.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This one's not related to creativity or art. It's more
Mhm.
entrepreneurship, but
Okay.
I always recommend this book to all my friends, and then they always come back like screaming about it. And it's called Shoe Dog by Phil Knight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the creator, the founder of Nike, and it's his whole journey to create this company, and it's very inspiring.
For
There's a lot
sure.
of highs and lows and crazy stories.
I'm definitely gonna check that out.
Yeah.
How has music changed your life forever?
Wow. I feel like music, it helps me to feel every part of life to the
Mhm.
fullest, I think. If I wasn't a musician, I don't know if I can be this close to myself. like every single emotion as a human being that I feel, I can make it into something beautiful and capture it
Hmm.
and do that process like until I die. And
Yep.
that's such a beautiful thing.
It's
And
legacy.
it really is legacy, and my kids can listen to it
Yep.
one day, like my
It's
future
something
family.
invaluable as well that like
Exactly.
you can't really put a price on because you can stream a song so many different times, package it, sell it
Yeah.
again over and over,
Mm,
different ways to move it, like through TV sync and things like that, so it can live
yeah,
forever.
exactly. I
Like
really
a
love
time machine.
that. Yeah, exactly.
How do you deal with creative block if ever you have moments of that?
Creative block. I think I let myself just play. Like, you gotta be gentle on yourself, I think. I used to be very harsh because I come from a Korean culture and we're supposed to be perfectionists. We're supposed to be hard on ourselves, but I realized that was blocking me even more.
Hmm.
So I decided to try the complete opposite and it worked out for me very well.
For sure. Because I
Yeah.
think perfection in a way is an illusion. You know what I mean? Because what I can deem
Yeah.
perfect, you may not necessarily deem perfect and vice versa. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
just knowing when
Definitely.
enough is enough, chipping at the block
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
a skill in itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
What do you feel like was your biggest investment in music in your journey in general, besides time?
Mm. Ooh. I think when I moved to LA for 2 years
Hmm.
and I didn't know anyone there, and at 21, I just decided to go there and see how I can improve as a musician.
Hmm.
And people say a lot of different things about LA, but what I really gained is like my musical skill. And as a songwriter, I got to meet the best musicians there
For sure.
in my life. So that really honed in my skill. It really perfected more of my craft.
Hmm.
So I can come back to city I love like Paris and I can continue to make music the way I want. But I think without that phase, I wouldn't be the musician that I am
For
today.
sure. What were some
Yeah.
of those experience and moments that you had when you moved to LA, especially from leaving your country and going to a foreign country and just like not knowing anybody, not having any resources? What were some of those moments like for you?
First few months, it was like hard because I'm away from my parents
Hmm.
and I'm calling them every single day and I'll be like crying sometimes. And yeah, it was really difficult actually, like to
Yeah,
find the right people. And since it's such a big city and there's like the entertainment industry, there are a lot of bad people too, actually. And you learn how to like toughen up and handle different situations. And
hmm,
I think that's such a blessing. I think all bad situations can turn into something really amazing. You can learn things from it.
hmm.
So LA was challenging, but at the end, it became such a blessing for me, I think.
For sure. Do you care to share any of those like lessons that you learned firsthand
Um,
when you first moved to LA?
um, I think as a woman, like female
Hmm.
musician, sometimes some men in the industry are not like clear with their intentions.
Sure.
I think that's something I really struggled with as a young like male artist.
Yeah,
Realize I can't just go to random sessions on my own. I have to take a friend, like little things like that. I had to navigate more. Like I had to protect myself, I think,
for
more.
sure. No, I feel
Yeah.
that. I feel that. Definitely the city that never sleeps. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
How was that like adjusting, like the time frame and just like the nightlife? How did you find balance during those times?
Mm, I think my life back then and right now is so different. Back then, I had less balance, I think. I kind of went full force. I was trying to meet everyone,
Hmm.
do like many studio sessions in 1 week. So I don't think there was much of a balance, but
For sure.
one thing that really helped me was just meeting friends, meeting good people. It can be one
Absolutely.
dinner like that relaxes you, and grounds you.
Hmm. What are three of your favorite movies of all time?
I love Inception.
Well, that's a fire one.
Um, two other. Mm, Vice versa. Inside Out. Inside Out.
Okay.
The animation.
Yeah, it's fire.
Yes, that. I
Okay.
love that. One other one. This is a hard question. I'm not much of a like. I
It's
don't
just
watch things
literally
that.
just whatever you like. There's no right or wrong answers.
Oh, Parasite. Parasite.
Okay. Yeah, that one was fire.
Korean one. Yeah.
That was definitely fire. Who would you say are your top inspirations musically to help you kind of navigate when you were first searching for your sound?
Definitely Caliuchis.
I can definitely tell that's fire.
Yeah, I love her so
Yeah, I
much.
love that pocket, man. Definitely.
Yes,
She's dropping something new.
she's amazing. I'm really excited for her album.
Yeah, for sure.
SZA, I really love SZA.
Hmm.
Big fan, and Tyler the Creator.
Word.
Yeah,
Those
I love them all.
sonically are definitely all leaders in their own way. So like
Exactly.
with
And
that being
visually,
said, yeah, for sure. With that
yeah.
being said, how was it like finding your sound from like watching what they were doing and just kind of like, oh, okay, let me try this, let me try that. What was that process like?
I think at first you just kind of imitate, right?
Hmm.
You just sing their songs, practice their songs, and then when you're when you're recording and making your own music, you try to bring in a little bit of those elements, but you can't like try to fully copy them because you got to find your own sound too.
Hmm.
But I think it started with a lot of imitation, and that's why you can hear some of the influences in my songs maybe with
For sure.
Kaliuchis and stuff.
Yeah, nah, for sure.
Yeah.
What would you say were your three top albums of all time?
Three top albums. Wow. Let
At
me
least
look at
that,
my
at
phone.
least what shaped your sound, like for you, like
Yes.
pivotal moments in your journey.
There are so many. I want to say the right one.
I know the list is
Let me
always
look at
changing.
my playlist.
Okay, for sure.
Definitely SZA Control.
Okay, that was a great one.
Kendrick Damn,
Okay, that was
for
fire.
sure. I love Kendrick. And Red Moon and Venus by Kali.
Ooh, that's a good one. I just got that
Yeah.
on vinyl.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
that's a fire one.
I'm also a big, big fan of Sade, so
Word.
yeah.
Walk us through your process when you're creating something new. Do you have any like rituals, habits, things that like help you kind of get into your zone? What's that like?
Honestly, I always like to start with chords. If
Mhm.
I have a nice chord, I can vibe over. Like, that's it. That's
Yeah,
all
nah,
I
for sure.
feel.
Do you
Yeah.
start with like a guitar, a piano? Like how do you start in your environment like when you're a songwriter?
Usually, usually some guitar chords, and I'll start humming some melodies over it. And I try to like come up with a kind of full song structure in
Mhm.
advance, writing lyrics. And when I have like an arrangement, I'll add lyrics to it and record it.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
So like when you're in your own session, are you like normally by yourself?
In my own session at home, I'm
Mhm.
completely by myself usually. And this
Okay.
is where I would write my demos, just like simple demos with guitar or just like a loop with the whole arrangement.
Okay.
But when I'm with people, it'll be at like other people's studios or their place.
For sure. So you're pretty much recording the session of you like vibing out just to like be able to kind of go back and redo the sound a little bit whenever you want to patch it back up. That's fire. That's a dope process. What kind of helped you develop that workflow in like being able to work by yourself as an artist opposed to like working with individuals?
I think I'm so used to working on my own
Mhm.
because at first when I started, I didn't know any producers for a few years, you know? I didn't have that connection. And I feel like more creativity can flow when you're limited sometimes.
Hmm.
So you get to learn how to do all these little things on your own just because you don't know like other people who can do it for you.
For sure.
When I first started, I think I just adopted the manner of like really DIYing everything.
Hmm.
And I think it stuck till today.
For sure. What do you
Yeah.
feel like is your most memorable moment of the come up?
Ooh, most memorable moment. Probably when I got in the studio with the songwriter that wrote one of the favorite childhood songs of mine that I would sing all the time, and I sang it
Wow.
to him.
Wow, that's fire.
Yeah. So it was really beautiful moment. Yeah.
Who in your circle helps you push things forward or kind of like keeps you sharp?
Definitely my boyfriend.
For sure.
And I feel like I'm so lucky to be able to say that because before my relationships, it was not the healthy kind of relationship like that.
Hmm.
But I finally like found that really healthy person and
Hmm.
someone who like elevates me and push me to be more disciplined
Yep.
and he support me like in every way of my
That's perfect.
projects. It's really amazing.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
What's some advice that you would tell your younger self?
To not stress, to not worry, because everything, you'll be happy in the end. You'll
Hmm.
be the artist that you want.
Absolutely. Beyond music, are there any other hobbies or interests that you have?
I love fashion and I love styling myself and just even going eye shopping or watching people on the street to see
Hmm.
what they're wearing. I think it's such a great tool for self-expression as well.
Hmm.
And Paris is a great place for that because people really show their individuality just even on the streets. It can be really young people to old people, but they
Hmm.
dress very differently, and I like that.
What has inspired your creative direction as far as like with the visuals, and how did you develop that as an artist?
I think just observing a lot, whether it's music video, going to the art gallery, just finding textures and visuals that I like, and always capturing it, whether just taking a photo on the phone and creating a vision board.
Hmm.
Like when I collect things that I really like visually, I can tell to the director if I'm working on a music video, this is what I like and I want to channel this energy. So
Sure.
always like collecting inspiration.
Yeah. What kind of brought your process to that realization that things needed to be done in that fashion in order for you to make progress as a musician?
I think I have to really be the director because I'm independent because I want to execute things in my vision and in my way.
Hmm.
So to collect inspiration all the time and to know what I like and who I am is very important because there's no one else to tell me this is what you should make, this is the photo shoot you should do. Everything is directed and curated by me.
Hmm.
So I need to be clear and very specific in what I like and what I want to create.
For sure. What kind
Yeah.
of inspired you wanting to go all in and be independent in the first place?
Probably the creative freedom.
Mm.
Yeah.
Were there
Doing
some
whatever I want.
were there some stories that like spooked you or kind of like things that made you be like, you know what? Like I'm just like gonna sponsor myself and just put my own
Yeah.
money up.
Definitely hearing artists losing creative control
Mm.
definitely scared me a lot because I'm the type of person who needs to do what they want to do in the end.
For sure.
I feel like I don't like being controlled or I don't want to do like a radio song because I was told to do a radio song. Like I'm
Mm.
just not that person and I just knew that about myself. So I think from early on I was like, okay, let's just like do this on my own.
Mhm.
Mm.
So like knowing that about the process, what would you say is some things that you've had to adjust to, versus like coming to the realization that you're going to do it yourself? What are some of the things that you learned on the way that could help somebody else?
So I think planning everything in advance can really help, whether it's sound or visuals. Like literally make, for example, I get on Pinterest or online, I'll make vision boards of each project and I create color scheme. I create different photos to like a collage to know like the concept of EP1, album one.
Mm-hmm.
Just when you have those ideas prepared, when you do get the budget and when you do get the opportunity or the right people around you, when that time comes, I feel like you can show that and express that. When maybe if you're not prepared, even if you suddenly do have the money or the opportunity, like you don't know what to do at all.
Yeah, no, that's definitely
Mm.
like some good insight there. You know, when you're planning out in advance, it gives you the opportunity for things to happen and it really not affect you. You know what I mean? Like whether,
Yeah.
you know, things happen, things are going to be late sometimes, like people may not
Mm.
meet deadlines and things like that. Like it's not a perfect world, like so to speak. You
Yeah,
come to the
yeah.
realization earlier, so that's amazing. Who was the first
Yeah.
person to really believe in your talent and how did that feel to you?
First person, probably my parents,
Wow.
mom especially. I'm really grateful that they saw that in me and helped me. Even financially, they helped me a lot to get every music lesson that I wanted to get.
Hmm.
They bought me my first instruments. They did that because they saw something in me, like a musical talent. They're really my greatest supporters.
That's amazing. That's beautiful. Shout out to the family. What's the most frustrating part of creating, and how did you overcome that as an artist?
Probably when I first started, I felt like I was not very good at it, so it made me feel insecure as a person. And that's a very painful thing that everyone has to experience but overcome as an artist or just a
Mhm.
human being doing anything new.
For sure. What are
That
some
is
of the ways that you've overcome?
just accept the insecurity, keep feeling it. It's not as scary when you sit with it. It
For
doesn't
sure.
do anything to you.
When you
You
don't
just gotta
identify with it.
keep, yeah,
You know what I mean? Like when you realize it's not a part of you, it's just a natural process. Everybody has those type of same things going on.
exactly.
What emotions or feelings do you think are missing in the world, and how do you address that with your art?
Probably authenticity
Mm,
and honesty because I think sometimes out of fear and wanting validation, we can lie to ourselves and other people
for
about
sure.
what we really like and who we really want to be.
Hmm.
And I think that's why creatives are amazing because we allow ourselves to be that authentic human being in the world.
Hmm.
And that encourages other people. Just by listening, you can feel more authentic and
Yeah.
connected to yourself.
What are some of the ways that you ensure that you keep yourself authentic to your brand and what your artistry means to you?
I think being stubborn and selective.
Mm,
Yeah. And being intentional, not allowing everything to happen, but carefully curating which direction I want to go as an artist,
for
even
sure.
if that means it's going to take a lot more time.
No, I definitely see that.
Yeah.
Who is the most surprising person that ever reached out or showed love to your work?
Hmm. My granddad,
That's awesome. That's awesome. What was
my
that process
grandparents,
like? Was it
they're
something that like somebody else showed them or it was something that you showed?
so I hid my YouTube channel. Like I didn't show them my music videos and things like that
Mhm.
because they're super duper conservative Korean grandparents. They're very Christian.
Yeah.
So I knew that some of the things I would create was going to be contrasting with their values. So I was scared. So I never really shared what I did. Or even in my songs, I talk about like sex or just like my personal life. And like, I don't want them to know any of that about me. So
Hmm.
I didn't show them. But they found my YouTube channel and like he commented on my music video and he said, like, oh, she's a superstar or something. And I was like, okay, thank God. But I was surprised.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. What were some of the emotions that you were feeling like when you realized it was him and you got your stamp of approval pretty much?
Well, at first I was like, is this him? Because it was like his English name and
Mm.
then some numbers, and I was not sure if it was him. And then turns out it was, and I was like, at first it was like fear. Oh my God, like what is he thinking? Like I'm like
Yeah.
half naked.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then a feeling of like, oh, they appreciate like my artistry. That's really nice. So
Yeah, that's
gratitude.
definitely a rare occasion. So you definitely got to
Yeah.
celebrate
Yeah.
that. If you could
hmm
revisit one moment from your past on the journey, what would it be and why?
If I can revisit my past.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Probably my bass player era when I
Mm.
was really serious about jazz and like doing shows. That's when I was in New Zealand actually, and I was doing a lot of gigs like as a musician for other artists.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's a very special time because I was just so purely connected to my music, like,
Mm-hmm.
and my instruments. And sometimes, like, after I decided to make music as a career, sometimes I have this, like, responsibility. I feel this responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
But back then, I felt free from that and just only thinking about, like, oh, like, this is a cool bass line, or
For
it was
sure.
just music.
Yeah. What is a tip that you would give somebody when first starting out with the bass?
Ooh. Try to find songs that have like the best bass lines and listen to it and like analyze it. Like instead of listening to the whole song,
Mm-hmm.
try just listen and pay attention to the bass lines of the songs.
For sure. That's different. I heard Tyler say something that like, different people because of their, I guess you could say, musical background, we'll just call it, like things that they've listen to and pay attention to things differently. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
it was just like something that kind of blew my mind as far as like
Uh,
just like listening to music that people like actually concentrate on different things and just like
yeah.
help me appreciate my artistry for like
Mhm.
to say that I like a good bass line or
Yeah.
like the drums have to knock and things like that. Like I don't
Mhm.
feel as bad for making my beats go louder than what they're supposed to be. You know what I mean? So
I love
definitely
that.
dope. Yeah. Who's somebody that you would love to work with?
Oh, Tyler.
For sure. Yeah.
For sure. I would love to. I saw him actually in Paris. Like I just walked past him one
Mm-hmm.
day and I was with my it was the first day I met my boyfriend and I was with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw like a very well-dressed tall man coming towards us.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really recognize who it was. And then after he left, I was like, Tyler! And then he like looked back because I said his name so loud. But I hope one day we can get in the studio and make music.
That would be
That would be
fire. That would be
yeah.
that would be amazing.
hmm
How do you quiet self doubt?
Mm. Probably by doing my affirmations.
Mm.
That seems like it works really well for me because when you hear self-doubts, like first, like you want to write it all out so it's out
Mm.
of your head.
Yeah.
And then after you want to put like good input in your head, I think, and
For sure.
say the person you want to be. Like, if you're insecure that you're not a great writer, just keep saying, like, I'm a great writer
Hmm.
until your brain thinks you are.
For sure.
Yeah.
What's one thing you've learned about yourself through your art that kind of surprised yourself?
Hmm. Wow, that's a great question. That surprised myself that I contradict myself all the time,
Mm.
like my emotions and my thoughts.
Hmm.
I think one thing and then I think the complete opposite in like the span of 1 hour, and it
No.
shows in a song.
Well, I mean, that's the beautiful part about it, though, right? The beautiful part
Yeah.
about music is because it's like, in a sense, like a radio dial that people can like tune in, and when they're feeling happy, they can play happy music. When
Mhm.
they're playing sad, they can play sad music. So like
Yeah.
just the different stages of being an artist in itself. Being able to tap into those different emotions on a daily or however they come, and just taking them for what they are and stripping them down and making something out of something that whether it felt pleasant or not, just like still leaving legacy with that is it's amazing.
I love that.
What does success mean to you as an artist, and how has that definition changed over time?
I've been really thinking about this question so often and for so long now because I think everyone should have a personal definition of success
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise, if you don't know what it means, you'll never reach it and you'll be on a constant chase.
Mm-hmm.
I think success for me as an artist, if I can be the kind of artist that completely capture what I hear in my head and then execute my vision in the way I want to very freely and just consistently live that lifestyle until I die, that's success for me. Like having creative freedom.
Mm-hmm. Not like a particular goal. It's more or less just like the
Yeah,
lifestyle in itself is the reward.
exactly.
That's an amazing way to like frame your own life. Because I mean, like every
Yeah,
day is a win, pretty much. You know what I mean?
exactly.
So
Exactly.
when you're able to look at life like that, your whole perception and like everything that you receive and intake and stuff is just like a whole different perception.
Yeah, it's really a byproduct in the end, and it's amazing if I can get results, money, accolades, and things like that. It'd be great.
For sure.
But that's not the moments I live for, and that's not why I should do this, I don't think.
Nah, I feel it. What's
Mm.
a misconception that people have about you or your art that you wish they understood?
I don't even know what people are thinking, to be honest.
For sure. Have you ever tried
I
to like put your stuff on like for review channels and just have people like
don't
listen?
ever.
No? Okay, okay. That's fire. Okay.
Yeah.
We have less than a minute left.
Yeah.
What's coming up next for you and what can we look forward to?
Definitely my EP called Just Be. That's the name of the EP. And that will be super exciting. So please stay tuned for that. And then I just started working on my first album also. And
Wow.
I want to go even deeper with my creative process with that. So everyone can be excited for that.
Absolutely. I look forward to hearing something new from you. Definitely the new EP. And I just want to appreciate you, you know what I mean, for making time in your day and,
Thank
sitting
you
down
so
and
much
talking
for
with
your
me.
time.
Absolutely. Have a
All
good day.
right. Great
God
talking to
bless.
you. Have a nice day.
All right, you too.